is very strange. But the Hillary Clinton thing is just so fucked up because you have a Bush and a Clinton. I got why people supported Obama. I don't understand how anyone can support Hillary. I really don't.
They're happy to have a chick in there.
And so next time, are we just going to have a gay person?
Yeah.
Because this is bullshit.
You got any evil gay people that we could slide in? Evil gay people are super into war. Is there any out there? There must be.
I mean, has this just turned into just pure symbolism? So we're just going to have the first black guy and then the woman and then a gay person and then that's it.
Well, then we'll have to go back to straight evil.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't make any sense at all to have this system that we have in place.
Right.
It doesn't make sense. Anyone who's a strict Democrat, like I had a conversation once with a friend, and he was talking about Democrats versus Republicans in an election, and he kept using the term "we." You know, we got to win this and we got to win that. And I'm like, "We?" I go, "You're talking like you're talking about the Red Sox, man.
Right.
I mean, you're talking about like getting ready for the World Series. Like you're talking like a team person. Like these are politicians, man. You know who they work for? Fucking corporations. They don't work for you. Like, this is a dog and pony show, and you're completely committed to it. We got to get rid of it. We got to get rid of that. It's got to be who has the best ideas. It can't. The party system has failed us for so long that we are just invested in having the best version of this failed, fucked up party govern us. I mean, it's a terrible version of what could be the governing principles of the greatest nation the world has ever known.
And I don't think any other country has this kind of absurd show, multi-billion-dollar show where it's like a Hollywood extravaganza, you know, and it gets worse every year. And last year they spent over $1 billion each. And I can't think of any other country that has the same kind of charade. Yeah. Sorry. I just can't. And it is a complete facade. And the fact that you need millions of dollars to even get on the ballot, almost, and maybe not millions, but I mean, you need a substantial amount of money to get even on the ballot in every state. And then to get into debates, it's completely impossible because it's all run by like the oil and gas, like all these corporations fund the presidential debate system somehow. Commission
for Presidential Debates, a privately funded institution.
There you go. Yeah. And so you can't get on it.
Well, they used to be able to get on it with a small percentage of the popular vote in certain elections, but you can't do that anymore because of our good friend Ross Perot. Ross Perot fucked things up back in the old days. Because this guy, if you guys aren't aware of Ross Perot, or you weren't alive back when this was going on, it was a very unique moment in human history because this guy who was worth billions of dollars just said, fuck it, this is pre-internet. This guy said, fuck it, I'm going to buy a half an hour of time on ABC during prime time, or NBC, I don't remember what network it was, and I am going to show everyone what's fucked up about the tax system and show everyone what's fucked up about the Federal Reserve, and I'm going to talk about what kind of changes I would make if I was president. And everybody was like, look at this guy. And he was able to debate with these guys because during the primaries he had gotten whatever number of the popular vote you needed to get in order to be involved. So they changed it. They jacked it up much higher now. I forget what the percentage is, but it's virtually impossible for any third party candidate, which is why, everybody looked at Ron Paul and saying, well, Ron Paul is this wild independent. Actually, he's a Republican. Right. I mean, you call him a wild independent in terms of a lot of his ideas are very controversial and unique, but he's not an independent. He's a Republican because if he was an independent, he would have never been in those fucking debates. There's no independents are ever going to get to that point where there's three candidates being considered for the number one position in the country, and one of them is completely untethered to the system. It's not going to happen. And it's all like this political and intellectual bribery on so many levels because first it goes to the Supreme Court. I mean, we basically have a monarchy running this country. Our Supreme Court justices have more power than like the fucking Queen of England. So they're the final arbitrator on so many different things that are really life and death shit here. And it's basically turned into like, well, do you want like a crazy neocon to pick the next Supreme Court justice? And it's like, that's what we've come down to. Like, that's what it's all degenerated down to, is just who's going to pick a Supreme Court justice if someone dies. I mean, no, fuck that. I'm not going to capitulate my moral compass to vote for a war criminal. Hillary Clinton is a war criminal. I'm sorry. And what makes her a war criminal? Because she has voted for, first of all, let's just look at the Iraq war vote. Killed 2 million people in Iraq. New figures just came out that said that 2 million people have died in Iraq and Afghanistan since 2003. Not even to mention the million babies who died from sanctions in the 90s. Aside from that, Hillary Clinton, the Gaddafi, Libya, Syria,
she wants to bomb Iran. I mean, she is the worst. If you
she
look
said
at
she
her,
wants to bomb Iran?
Someone did a report, I think it was in the New York Times, kind of an embedded report in the National Security Cabinet. And they said that she is on par, if not worse than John McCain, of all of her war hawkish ideals in terms of foreign policy. It is scary shit, man. So as much as people want to pretend like she's like this liberal do-gooder, I'm most concerned about ending imperialism, militarism, and, you know, U.S. hegemony. So I'm not going to be voting for Hillary Clinton because she's a fucking woman. I don't give a shit if someone's a woman, if they're black, if they're gay, if they are perpetuating war crimes and killing innocent people. I know, going back to what you said, it's hard to be a president and not have someone's death on your hands, but fucking A, you don't have to just sign up to kill millions of people on a fake war against a non-existent threat.
I wonder what motivates someone like Hillary Clinton at this stage of her life.
Golf money. You should look at who funds her campaign. It is unbelievable. The Clinton Foundation, dude, check this out. The Clinton Foundation, not only, you know, like all these giant corporations and banks, the real creepy part is when you see Saudi and Gulf states actually giving her tens of millions of dollars over the years. That shit is scary. Saudi Arabia basically has bribed so many politicians. Harvard, Oxford, like all of these institutions to get Saudi money. And then you start to understand the culture of silence around Saudi Arabia and why we have this double standard, this egregious double standard in the war on terror and this unholy partnership with this country. Now we're bombing Yemen together. Saudi Arabia and the U.S. Bombing the shit out of Yemen, the poorest country in the entire Arab world. What good is that going to do?